All right. So let's formally start this webinar. Again, to introduce myself, I am Tayyib Ali. I am the practice director here at FMT Consultants. I welcome you all to this webinar. This is the first of the webinar of possibly a series of webinars that we would have on business analytics and insights with dashboards and reporting in Dynamics CRM. I have already talked on this topic before, so I'm not sure if some of you have attended my talk on this, but I wanted to share that previously I gave a brief overview of everything that is possible with Dynamics CRM combined with Microsoft Office and SharePoint. However, in this webinar, the reason why we have divided it into multiple webinars is that I want to dive deep into the intricacies of how you actually build those reports and dashboards and charts in Dynamics CRM. So the end objective of this webinar is that you should be able to build reports and charts and dashboards in Dynamics CRM without actually reaching out to consultants or contractors. So keeping that in mind, I'll try to make sure that I go step by step, and because it is being recorded as well, you will have the recordings too. So let's start formally. Before I actually start with the demo, and I only have a few slides, and after that we will jump into the demonstrations of how it actually is done. But before I start with that, I just wanted to kind of share with you the BI strategies that different companies have and what those BI strategies and BI application suites that they choose are based on. This is important just to give you an idea as to how Microsoft solution stack fits into the BI application suite stack. So for me, the decision is primarily driven by management vision. The second step is obviously you choose the technology that allows you to fulfill that management vision. And the third one is to continuously evaluate what you have and measure the results based on your BI strategy. So in the management vision, the 5 things that I wanted to briefly touch upon were self-service BI. So I think in today's world, you have to make sure that the BI application suite that you choose, it allows self-service BI, which means that your end users should be able to use the BI application suite that you have and build the reports and charts themselves. The reason why it's super critical is because as you are coming up with the requirements that you need a business analytics strategy in the company, you can do it to an extent, but you cannot obviously cater for all the ad hoc requirements of the reports and dashboards that you will have, or a manager who has the requirement for his specific department. So you need something that they could leverage themselves and could be hands-on on, and it's easy to implement so that they could use that tool to build their own charts. The second one, which is real-time BI, it is important, but it's dependent on your business. So there are businesses that I've worked with where they say that real-time BI is not that important. They can tolerate a lag of around 10 to 15 minutes. But as the technology is improving, it's becoming important that the higher C-level executives, they have instant results, and they want to see the data changes reflected on their dashboard so that they could make business decisions. Connecting the dots is important, so having a BI strategy that allows you to compare different departments' forecasts versus the actuals and those kind of things is important so that you could connect and make business sense out of disparate data sets that you have in the system. Obviously, the last two are, it should be easy to implement so that it doesn't take you forever to implement your BI strategy, and easy to use as well. And it should help you reduce cost. When I say reduced cost, obviously one understands that initially there has to be a capital investment as part of getting this tool up and running, but I'm talking about the operational cost. It should be easy to maintain. Then on the ad hoc reports, you should be able to do them by yourself so you don't have to spend money on that. So keeping this management vision in mind, the technology concerns that we feel need to be considered so that you could choose the best technology are the 5 that I have on the screen now. I'll start with end users. I feel this is the most important one as well. after, in my viewpoint, the local databases. So you have to take into consideration your end users prior to selecting the tool that you want for your BI strategy. Your end users, if they're not that tech savvy, then you would rather go with a tool that they are familiar with, if they have been using lots of Microsoft products and they understand the look and feel of that tool, you would go with Microsoft technology stack. If they use Oracle, then you could even go for Oracle BI suites that are available. So it's important to focus on the end user. It's just like we as a consulting company focus on our customers. So you as a company who is going to come up with this BI strategy have to focus on the end users within the organization to come up with the technology set that you would use for your BI strategy. Capabilities and tools. So essentially, obviously, this is absolutely important that the tools that you choose, they allow you to build charts and reportings and dashboards that would fulfill your management vision for the BI analytics that you had placed prior to getting to the technology. Local databases is absolutely critical. The more I talk to CIOs, the more I feel that this is something that is usually not taken into consideration to the extent it should be. What it means is that whichever BI suite you bring in, you should be able to feed in data into that application suite from other systems. What happens is that you have siloed applications and they have data and you have been using them for years, but now you have this BI strategy that is being built in isolation, and you think, okay, this BI application suite will come and it gives us all of these enhanced features of reporting, so it will just change the way we look at our data and would affect our business decisions and would improve them. But what happens is that because the BI suite is not linked with other siloed databases, so it doesn't change anything. It's super important also because based on my latest conversations, I just want to share that CRM or any other system for that matter is only as good as the data in it. So unless you feed the data into that system, irrespective of your BI analytics strategy, you cannot leverage the best out of it. So this is something which one has to think of as to the system that would allow you to integrate with other systems quickly should be a consideration when you're choosing the technology. Data in the cloud, I had to put cloud in my slide deck. But yeah, obviously cloud, you can have BI application suites on the cloud as well. And then once you do that, you have to consider that what effect it would have on the other applications that you have on premises and how they would communicate with each other. Data security, it's a given. Whatever application suite or BI strategy that you have, you do not want everyone to be able to access everything in the organization. So I think that all the BI suites now give data security at a very granular level, so it's not a differentiator, but it's also something to consider. On the results, we have, this is what you should get out of your BI analytics strategy. So it has to be easy to navigate, and I'll show you that whatever we will go through today, it will be easy to navigate. It should help you achieve your target, so it should give you enough business insight into your business data so that each department could fulfill its goals and meet their targets so that the company as a whole could hit their targets. It will help you be successful. Essentially, that is the reason why you would have an analytics strategy. It will help you grow as a company because you will have more visibility into different departments. And in terms of strategy, the way it helps, or it should help, is that it will help you formulate a better strategy going forward because you have better insight into your data. So these are the three primary segments that one should use to evaluate a BI strategy or analytics strategy within the company. And I wanted to start with that because what I'm going to show you today, you will see that it kind of fulfills all of this. But this holds true irrespective of whether you are on Dynamics CRM or you're using some other tools for your BI analytics. But this is a good slide if you want to use it to make your BI strategy. For the sake of the demo, so we are going to focus on business challenges just to make the demonstration more relevant to business. And the ones that we will be covering in this presentation are We will have focus on the pipeline visibility, so it's mostly sales. So all the reports and the dashboards that I'll build, they're going to be sales related, primarily revenue based, and I want to keep just one theme and change the artifacts, like same theme and then the report, same theme, then the dashboard, so that you focus more on how this is done once you understand the business logic or the business concept that we are trying to resolve, and then that would give you an understanding of the system as to how easy it is to actually implement that. The second one is global coverage. We'll partially touch that, but mostly we'll be talking about global coverage and customer satisfaction in our subsequent webinar, which, by the way, is going to be on September 24th. So in this one, let's focus on the pipeline visibility. Usually, when I do talk on this session, I try to obviously leverage Dynamics CRM to the extent possible, but then Microsoft Office along with Excel services also comes into play. But for this webinar, we're just going to focus on Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and in the second one, we'll focus on Office and Microsoft SQL services. So the leftmost Dynamics CRM is what we target today. I've created a few stories. So these are like story. I've done storyboarding. It's a storyline that we would follow just to make it more friendly to you guys, and then you can ask questions based on the story as well. So the first one is that there is a board of directors meeting, and the CEO wants to present in that board of directors meeting, and he needs a report. And then he wants us to enhance that report and convert it into a chart and then build a dashboard out of it. So the first two on the left is what we will cover in today's webinar. And then I've put in the others because I wanted to give you an idea as to what is coming next. You can export data from CRM, and then you can do all sorts of things with it that I'll just cover briefly in the end, just to give you a glimpse of what we will do in subsequent webinars. All right, so the first requirement that we have from Charlie, who is our CEO, is that he has a board of directors meeting, and he would like to have a report that gives us total sales by customers and by sales rep. So we are starting with the report, then we will move slowly on to make it more graphically enhanced to feed your appetite of real fancy BI charts. So initially, let's start with total sales by customers and by sales rep. So with that, I'll just shift to the demo. I'll open up my Dynamics CRM. So for those of you who haven't seen Dynamics CRM, this is Dynamics CRM 2011. When you log into the CRM dashboard is usually set as the default page, and the charts that you see, this is one of the dashboards that I have in the system. You can make as many dashboards as you want. You can set them as your default based on your role in the organization and your requirements so that it feeds to your requirements. Because we are going to make a report, so I'll just go to this report section on the left. So you see the left nav on the left, it has this report section. So I'll just click on that, and then I'll create a new report. Before I do the new report, or I hit this new button on the top to create this new report, just to highlight, so do remember what we are trying to do here. As I said, the idea is to go step by step so that you know by the end of this webinar as to how you will build these reports. So the first step is to know exactly what you're doing. We are trying to build a report for total sales by customers and by sales rep. Now in CRM, we know that total sales are represented by opportunities 1. So opportunity is an entity in CRM that represents your potential, what you're selling. And then when an opportunity is 1 is when you say that we have closed the deal, just for people who don't have CRM. So when we talk about total sales, we are focusing on opportunities that are 1 or deals that are closed. So I'll just hit this new button, and I'll say, okay, I want to start building this report, and I'll hit this report wizard that will actually help me build the report. So I want to focus on the wizard because it will show you how easy actually it is in Dynamics CRM 2011 to build these reports out of the box. So I say start a new report. I go on to next. It has asked me for the report name. I'll just put in total sales by sales rep and customer. And as I said, so you have to choose the primary record, and this is a mandatory field. And I will choose opportunity because it's opportunity that will give me total sales. So I'll go into opportunities. And now it asks me to select a view of opportunities. Now, as I said, that we are not interested in all the opportunities because some of them could not have been closed. So we are only interested in one opportunities, the deals that have been closed, because they tell me the actual revenue or the total sales that have been conducted so far. So I'll just select that view, and you see that there's a filter in there which says, okay, the opportunities that have a status 1 are going to be used for this report. I click on the next button again, and then there are a couple of ways to build these reports, but the easiest in my viewpoint, especially from the learning perspective, is to first of all just select all the columns that you want in that report. So I'll click on this button which says click here to add a column, and then this pop-up comes in, and I say, okay, show me the opportunity topic. I hit next, show me the customer. So I'll go to opportunity, potential customer. I would like to obviously know about the actual revenue, which is the revenue that comes in when the deal is closed. When was the deal closed? So actual close date. I can add in here the estimated revenue just to see a comparison between the actual versus the estimated revenue for an opportunity in the system. And I will also add the owner. So owner is actually the sales rep who actually worked on the opportunity to close the opportunity. So I'll just do that for now. I'll hit next. And you will see that I have not grouped it the way it was asked in the requirement. So the requirement was total sales by customer and by sales rep, but I don't want to do that right now just because I want to do it in steps to show you what's the natural progression of building these reports. So I'm done with my first report. I'll just say run report, and you will see that it will show me all the one opportunities in the system, the columns that are selected. So it is showing me potential customer, the actual revenue, actual close date, estimated revenue, owner. So this is just one view of it, but then I want to aggregate the actual revenue by customers. So that is something that I will do next. But I just wanted to show you that you can click on this topic, and when you do that, it actually opens up the opportunity form, and then it shows you all of the details on the opportunity. So let's take this very basic report and now enhance it so that we could add some grouping to it. So I'll just go on File and then Report Wizard again. I do that, I click Next again. It's the same thing that I did to this point, and then now I want to add some grouping. So I want this report to be grouped on the sales rep so that I could see into the opportunities by sales rep. And I also want it to be grouped on customer. So I'll go and select potential customer here. And once I do that, I'll just go through the process again. I'll hit next, 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 and then now it should give me my same report, but it will have some grouping on it. So you see that it has grouped the data by sales rep, and then within the data, it has grouped it into customers. So you see this is one customer, the other customer. If there are more than one opportunities against one customer, so for example, Mark Harrington, one of the sales rep, he worked with Bolt Sales Accessories, but it has two opportunities. One is for $250,000, the other one is for almost $1 million. So I've done that, but now I don't see any aggregations. So again, remember what we are trying to achieve is total sales. So I'll just change this again, and I'll ask the report wizard to aggregate or to sum the actual revenue. So I just do the whole process again, next, next. Now here on the actual revenue, I'll just enter, I'll select that, I'll say change properties, and I'll say summary type should be to sum. So I do that. I hit next, and let's just add a chart as well to this thing just to make it a little bit better. All the chart, you never asked for that. But let's add a chart on top of this, and I say okay. So here I'll just say okay, make a vertical, or sorry, a horizontal bar chart. And then it asks me here, what do you want on the y-axis and what is it that you would like to have on the x? So I'm choosing owners. So I want to see the sum of actual revenue by owner. I can also select a potential customer, but for the sake of this example, let's start with the owner. I'll hit next. And you will see that now it will show me, first of all, on the first page, it shows me the owner. And the owner are all the salespeople that I have in the system. So you can see that Mark Harrington has around $4.4 million of revenue that he has closed. I can click on that, and then it takes me into a drill down mode. And now it also shows me the sum of the actual revenue here. So in the summary you see on the screen now, you actually see that it's 1.2 million here, 2.2 million here, and the total is almost 4 million. So this is just one quick report that I have built based on the requirement that I have. The idea was to show you how easy it is to build these reports. Now, once you have built a report, you can enhance on that report, and it's really easy. So for example, right now in this report, I'm looking at owner and customer. Let's say if I want to look at the products that are being sold. So I can do that very easily as well. So let's close this report for now. I'm going to save it. And then I want to save another one and add by product as well in it. So it's the same report that then I will modify. And I just use the report wizard because I'm using the same report, so it has the report that we actually just built. So I go to next, and then I said that I want to add a product here, so I'll just click on the grouping, and I'll add opportunity product in there. So I'll just select opportunity product here. I say okay, and I want the view to be the same, the chart to be the same, and then maybe in the chart I can say, instead of showing me the revenue by owner, show me the revenue by opportunity product. So I select opportunity product here, and I click next. And we are done with this report as well. So let's run this report. So you will see how easy it is to actually just change different views of data. And now you see this chart is actually running on the products that we have in the system, and it is showing me the revenue by product. And still I can drill down into it. So if I just hit this this bar chart, I just click on that, and it will take me into a product. And now you see a summary by customer by product. So for example, Scooters and Sales Store has product B. This is the amount of revenue coming through that. Just going back to the first page again. So there are a few limitations in the reports that are coming out of the box. I'm highlighting those because in the next thing that we are going to do is to build more dynamic charts. One is that as I drill down, it's just a predefined drill down. So I just click on that and it goes in. So I cannot control the dimension on which I would like to drill down into it. That is one. Secondly, when I drill down, this thing goes away, so it's not as interactive. If I want a different view now, I have to go back and then maybe select something else here. And the third is that it's not very graphically appealing. So it's a good chart. It gives me the information, but salespeople usually like to have a nice cup of tea with them and then look at fancy charts and play around with the data. So based on my experience, they like fancy stuff. So it doesn't have that. Not that you cannot do that through reports. In fact, let me just show you one more report that I have in the system. I'm not going to build this one, but just to give you an idea that you can actually make these reports fancier, but not just out of the box. So this is another one. This is running off the open opportunities that I have in the system, and it shows me the estimated revenue by state. And you can see that there is a legend at the bottom that says, okay, from $1.5 million to $4 million is going to be dark green. From 0.8 to 1.5, it's green. And then from 0.1 to 0.8, it's light green. And I'm going to give you this report as well at the end of this this webinar, and then also the instruction as to how you can import it in your existing system. So you'll have this report. You can just click on the state. So if I click on Texas, it will show me all the open opportunities. When I say open, it means that they are in a certain stage in the pipeline, but they're not won opportunities or lost opportunities. So it shows me all the opportunities in Texas, and then I can click on the opportunity to actually open that opportunity. So it's again a better way to represent it, and it just at a glance tells you that which geographic areas you're covering and where maybe you can improve. So from here I can see that there's maybe potential in California because that is light green, and I can change it to darker green. This is also green, so I can change Florida to dark green as well. It shows me all the opportunities here as well. The reason why I wanted to show that was because the first one that you build out of the box has some limitations on the graphical interface that you have associated with the report. So this one is more enhanced, so I wanted to give you a feel of that. The other thing is that you can now export this. So you can export to Excel, and I'll just export it to Excel to show you how the data flows out of these reports. And then I'll just give it, so it comes up along with the representation, and then sheet 2 has the data. So I think this is something that I can give to Charlie for his meeting. So let's go back to the slide deck. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand, and then I'll get to you guys to actually make you ask those questions, because I'll have to unmute you. So we are done with the first part of the demo, which was primarily on the reporting. We started with a very simple example, total sales by customer and by sales rep, and then I showed you how to enhance that report. And then I added a simple chart on top of that, and then I showed you this map report, which is a lot fancier than what we built. So the second thing that I want to cover that will actually address some of the limitations of the reports that we had built are the charts. So Microsoft Dynamics CRM, it comes with out-of-the-box charts that you can build. A chart, and it's important, a chart in Dynamics CRM is a combination of a view, which is the data that is fed to the chart, and obviously the chart, which is the pictorial representation of that data. So this is how we will, when we go into the system in the demo, we'll cover the view first, and then we'll go to the chart. And then obviously this is a sales funnel. We have all sorts of charts in the system. So the next requirement that we have from Terry is that you continue to impress. That's a win for our CRM system. This graphical view of the data really excited our sales management. Is there a way to put it in CRM? And can you please do that quickly? So now he wants a more appealing graphical interface for the report that we just built. So we'll just go and do a demo on the charts. So let's do that. Let's close this report. Sorry. All right. So in order to build charts, you have to go to the entity of interest. We'll follow the same business scenario of total sales by customer and by sales rep. So I'll go to sales, and then I'll go to opportunities. Just close this. Now in opportunities, you see that, as I said, a chart is a combination of a view and a chart, or a pictorial representation of that view. So you can have as many views in opportunity as you want, but since we want to focus on total sales, so again we want a view that is going to give us all the data of opportunities that are actually won. So I'm going to go to advanced find and get that data from the system. And I already have that view built in the system, but I want to show you this advanced find because it is really strong. You can actually select any data that you want in the system. So I go in there, I go to the details, and I say select. Status should be 1 here, equals. Because I only want one opportunity, so I'm going to do that. Once I do this, I'm going to select the columns that I want in the view. And the reason why I want to select these columns is because you can play around with charts in Dynamics CRM in a couple of ways. One is that you click on the chart and the view will change to reflect that action. The other is to change the view, and most of the people are already familiar with different views and how to play around with them and how to filter them. So I also want to show you how you can actually filter the view and it will change the chart. So in here I will add in the actual revenue. It's already in there. Actual close date is in there as well, but I want to move it to the left. I want owners in the system. Pipeline phase is not important because it's one opportunity, so the pipeline phase has already gone through the pipeline. Actual close date, so I'll just move that to the left. I guess this looks good, so I'll just click OK. Results. Yeah, so I'll just save this view now. So I'll say save as. And I want to use this view for total sales by customer, sales rep, product, and then maybe we can add territory to it as well. Territory. Okay, so I'm just creating this view, and then I'll use this view to build all of my charts based on this view. So I have this view now. I just close this screen. And I go into CRM, and you see that the latest view that I created, it's now available in this drop-down that I have in front of opportunities. And then when I go to my view section here, you have this view. So I just select this view. Once I have selected that, now I can start building my charts. However, before I do that, as I said, I wanted to show you the view. So on the top, you see this tab of view. You select that tab, and now you can filter data in this view. So if I say filter, it adds these filters to all of the columns that I have. Now, just to show you the power of this view, I can actually go to actual revenue, and I can say, give me all the opportunities that are closed and have a revenue of more than, say, 250K. Or maybe all of them are more than, no, okay. So I say, okay, and it just filters it based on that. And this will become more relevant as I'll show you the charts. And then you can reset this filter to bring it back. So enough on the view now. So let's go to the chart section. The second tab or the fourth one from the left is the charts. I say chart, and then I click on new chart. And you will see how easy actually it is to create a chart. And you'll follow the same example. So I'll call this chart total sales by sales rep to start with. Sales rep. So I select that. I select the legend that I want. So for example, this is the series. I'm interested in the actual revenue. So I'll just select that. And on the y-axis, I want the owner because I want actual revenue by the sales rep. I save this, and I close the designer, and here you are. So this is now my chart against this view, and this is the reason why I like these charts, which is about to follow. So when I click on Mark Harrington here on the bar chart, you will see that the view on the left, this will change. So let me just do that. So if I click on this, you see it just changes the view. So now everything that I see on the left is just for Mark Harrington. I can click outside it, and it will go back to the original view. Similarly for Terry Adams, if I click on Terry, it will just show me the view that has all the opportunities for Terry. So this is very, very powerful. You can play around with it and enhance it and do whatever you feel like doing with it. So for example, and then there's a drill down into it. So for example, as I showed you in the report, the drill down was just that you would click on it and it will take you in and show you the data. But here I can select a different dimension of this data to look at it in a different way. So let's say if I drill down into Terry's revenue and I want to look at it from the customer perspective. So I select customer, I hit next, and now it is showing me all the customers for Terry. And it is showing me the revenue by customer, and it tells me in a split second that transport sales is bringing in the most of the revenue for Terry. So it's an amazing way of looking at your data. And then I can drill down further into it to see if in transport sales, is there a certain product that is actually giving me more data than the other. So I'll select the opportunity product here. Let's see if I have opportunity product, and then I go into it from that perspective, and it tells me that it's only the product B that we are selling to transport sales, and it shows the drill down on the top. So it tells me Terry Adams transport sales. So I'll go back. I have total sales by sales rep. I'll enhance this or make a new chart now to say, okay, give me total sales by rep and by customer. So I do that. I select again owner here. I select sorry, not owner here, the actual revenue here, actual revenue on the top, and I say, okay, give it to me by owner, and sorry, not by customer, I want it by product. So on the bottom, I can add another dimension to it, which is the product dimension. So I'll say, okay, give me opportunity product on the x-axis along with the owners. So I do that. And I say, save this and close this designer. So now you see it's on the same data. I have a new chart. It tells me sales revenue by sales rep. So this is for Mark Harrington, and then each color represents a product in the system. So product A is red, so it tells me that most of the revenue that Mark is bringing in is for my product A. And then most of the revenue that Jill is bringing in is for product B. I can play around with this even further. I can ask them to, and I can have different views for this as well. So I can say edit this chart and then give me the same chart but make it stacked column based. So I'll just close, sorry, I'll save it first and then close the designer. So it's the same chart but now it's a different view. So the red in the under Mark Harrington is showing me product A, and when I click on that, it just shows me on the left in the view all the opportunities for product A. I can hit on the green one and it shows me all the opportunities for product A and B, and then I can hit on the purple one and it shows me all of the purple one is product B only. So all of the opportunities for product B. So you can see that this is how powerful the system is, and it's just all out of the box. Whatever I'm showing you is something that you can do yourself as well. Let's create a new chart. Let's look at data from the territory perspective, actual revenue by territory. So I go to actual revenue again. I say, okay, show me the region or territory here. So I say, I go to the territory. I select that. And in the actual revenue, I just have all of my revenues coming from the East Coast. So I don't know. Let me just change this actually. So you see, as I change my view, so let me just bring back the original. This is also one thing that I want to show you. So when I select the view, the data changes. So if I select a different view here, so right now this is my chart for say territory. Now this chart is running based on the actual revenue by territory. I can change this view to something else, and then it will, the data or the chart will changed to reflect the changes in the data. And this is, again, the same thing as filtering the data as well. So I can say, okay, show me by territory only the chart for revenue more than certain limit, and then it will just show me that. And I can do that by adding a filter on one of these things. So these are some of the charts that I wanted to show you. One quick thing that I want to show you is how to make these charts look even more prettier than how they look today, or what I've shown you right now. So if you just export this chart and to save as actual revenue by territory, I'll just save it on my desktop. And then I just go in there and open up this chart on my desktop. I edit it with Notepad, and I can bet you that you can ask your IT folks to do this, and most of them would not know how to do that. So this is one way, that something that you can teach them as well. But it's really simple, and especially because most of the salespeople, they like fancy stuff, so I just wanted to cover that real quickly. And I'll give you there's a blog on it, so I'll share that blog with you after the webinar, so it will show you exactly how this is done and other stuff that you can do with it. So in the series section, I'll just add drawing style, and I will say we'll make it light to dark, so it will just change the colors of my dial. I'll just save it. That's it. That's all that you have to do in order to make them look better. And there's just small changes that you do to kind of do all of this. And then I'll import this chart back in again. So I exported it. I changed just one field, and now I'm actually bringing it back in. It's actual revenue by territory. I say, okay, I wanted to replace this one. You see that it changes the scheme and the colors, and it makes it look more fancy. So this is what I wanted to cover in the chart section. I'll just go back to the presentation, but before I do that, just a quick recap. So a chart is a combination of a view and a chart. You first of all make your view, and then on the top you have this views tab to actually filter on your view, and a chart tab to actually create new charts. And that's actually all there is to it. So I'll go back in. So sales chart. The next thing that we have is our dashboards. So the reason why we have dashboards in Dynamics CRM is that this chart looks good. It's mostly for managers or sales reps who are actually playing around with the data. But C-level executives, they want all these charts to be grouped so that they could have all the information at a glance, and they could leverage that information and play around with that information as well. So although you can drill down into dashboards as well, because there is no view associated with the dashboard, so it's not as dynamic as you saw. I just showed you with the chart and the view, but nevertheless, dashboards is one of the biggest things for the C-level executives. So we'll cover that in this webinar as well. So now we have a requirement again from Charlie. He wants us to put together a nice dashboard based on the reports and the charts that we have just built. So we'll go back into the CRM system and build a dashboard for him, and I'll show you how easy it is to actually build a dashboard. So we'll just go back to our workplace. You go to the dashboard section from the left. So this is the left nav. I just click on dashboards. And I will say, go to my sales management dashboard. I've already added the map report to this dashboard, but I'm going to edit it to add to actually add the charts in there. So I'll say dashboards, and then I'll select. So you have this insert section on the top. You say insert chart. On the chart, as we are talking about opportunities, so first thing that you have three things that you have to select. I told you a chart is a combination of view and a chart. So we'll go to the opportunity record type. Go in there. We'll say select the view. So we created a view. We'll use our view that we just created. And we created some charts. So we want to add those to the dashboard. We'll just start with the total sales by sales rep. Add this one. I'll move it up. You can actually move them around. So I'm just dragging and dropping it here. I'll say, okay, come in here. So I just added one. I want to add another one. I say, okay, go in again. I'll select opportunity here. I will go to my view that we just created. So we are actually bundling everything that we have done in this webinar till now. I say, okay, give me revenue by sales rep and by product. I bring that up there as well. Then I say add another chart, go again, so it's the same thing, go to opportunity. So you can see that the first step in building a dashboard is actually to build your charts. Once you have your charts, it's just a matter of putting them together in your dashboard. And that is all that is required. So I'll just go by territory and use that. Again, I move it up here. And now, so this is all based on the total revenue or the sales, because we were dealing with the total sales by customers and by sales rep. But let me just add something from the open opportunities as well. We already have this report, but I'll just add opportunity, open opportunity, and then let's say top customers based on open opportunity, not in closed. So I'll just add that here as well. This is one of the charts that I already had in the system. Once you have done that, you just save it. So I'll save it, save and close, and then that is all that I have to do. Now here is my dashboard, and I can set it as default. So whenever I log into Dynamics CRM, this is the dashboard that you would see. So you can see that I have my, and all of this is still dynamic, so I can still play around with it. There are 3 buttons that you see on the top. One is to refresh. The second one, I think we have a question. So let me just take the question first. Okay. All right. So the question is, can I do all of these reports with CRM Online? So whatever I have shown you till now, you can do with CRM Online as well. So all of these features, all of these reports and charts, that is the reason why I have covered only the out-of-the-box features. So all of this, and even the report, this report that I'll give you, the map one, you can import it into your CRM 2011 Online, and all of this will work. So yes, everything that you have seen thus far is available in CRM 2011 Online. Okay, so we'll just continue. I wanted to show you how we can actually drill down into these dashboards. So you can just click this table icon, and then it will take you to this view where we were actually when we were dealing with the charts and the views. So this is then more dynamic, and you can just drill down into that. Or what you can do is that you just click on the bar that you are interested in. So let's say if I am I'm the sales manager, and I want to drill down into the East territory, the revenue that we have, and I want to look at it from the product perspective. So I'll go to opportunity product, and I say, okay, drill down into it. So it changes the chart. So again, within the dashboard, I can play around with it. So the idea is that your sales managers, they won't have to deal with all of the data in the system. They can just this can be the one-stop view, customer 360-degree view for all the customers, that they can come onto these dashboards, select their dashboards, filter on the data, and then they can see, if at all they need to go and see the data as well, they can click on this table icon and go in there. So this is a dashboard, and then you can have as many dashboards as you want. I have plenty of dashboards in this demo environment. I can show you some more just to give you an idea. So this is another dashboard for customer service, something that we'll cover in subsequent webinars. Coming back to sales, so sales dashboard based on the East region, you can have a sales funnel. So it tells you, okay, these opportunities are in this phase, then the red one is negotiation phase, how many are won, these are your top opportunities in terms of the revenue. You can also do goals. So we have obviously not covered that, but we will be covering that in subsequent webinars as well. So now that we have the the dashboard ready for Charlie as well, So let's go back to our slide deck and see what else is required by him. So we go next. So that is the end of the first webinar. I open the floor for any questions that you have, and I'll wait for in a minute or so. If you don't have any questions, then I want to show you a brief glimpse of what we will cover in the subsequent webinar. That is something, so what I've shown you today is fancy, but I can assure you what we have in the subsequent webinar is something that has that wow factor. People look at it and they say, wow. So, and I'll show you a glimpse of that, but I'll just wait for 1 minute so that if you have any questions, you could ask those. Okay. So I have another question here, which is, can you display the company as well as the potential customer when using the opportunity for reports? Yes, that is certainly the case. I was just choosing the potential customer, which usually is a company, but you can have Dynamics CRM implementation where you are selling to a contact. And in that case, the potential customer against an opportunity can be a contact as well. So, but you can use, you can display anything you want. You can display a company, you can display a contact, you can display the potential customer. So the answer to your question is yes, you can do that. I guess we don't have any more questions, so let me just show you what we will cover in the next webinar, which is on September 24th. So in that webinar, what we will do is that we will export some of the data that we used for our reports and charts, and we will try to link it up with different sources. So the thing that what I've shown you today is just Dynamics CRM based, but I told you in the beginning that the power of your BI analytics is based on the fact that you should be able to link the data from other sources to that as well. The way you can do that in Dynamics CRM is that you export the data in Excel, and then in Excel you can have multiple sources working with Dynamics CRM, and you can have that data refreshed dynamically. So to give you an idea as to what would be the end result of our next webinar and what you would learn in that, so I'm just opening up this this Excel-based report that I have, and as it loads, you would see that this is a lot more enhanced view of the data. So this report is again built on the Dynamics CRM data. Again, the data that we covered today, total sales by customer, by product. So this is sales by products. It's a nice map. It's again dynamic. You can zoom in, zoom out. Product AI, if I click on this, it tells me all of the details of this product. So city, the product, and the revenue. And then I can click on a different button, and it shows me that. So this is one of the things that we will cover. And the second thing, which we will lead towards actually towards the end of the next webinar, is this Power View report that you can build using Dynamics CRM data. And this is amazing because it shows you trends in your system. It allows you to play data over time. So we have in this one data starting from July 2011 to 2013. And if I hit this play button, it will show me all of these products and the revenue against these products over time. So it is showing me these small boxes. The size of the box shows how big the opportunity was. And then as it goes through, it shows me how the data has moved. And all of this is done on real-time data. So I can have this link to Dynamics CRM, and I can even open it from within CRM. And this will all work. Now this, just to refer back to that question on CRM 2011 Online, is still not available in 2011 Online. But there's some features of it that are available on 2011 Online, but we'll cover that in more detail in the next session. So I don't see any more questions that have come in, so this would be the formal end of our webinar today. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that it will actually help you to do some of the stuff that I've shown you yourself. I would encourage you to go and play around with your Dynamics CRMs and build these reports and charts. And I would love to see you again on September 24th for the next webinar, because what we can do now with Dynamics CRM combined with SharePoint and Microsoft Office is absolutely amazing. So I look forward to talking to you guys again. Thank you.